Connor McDaddy now getting the shockwave onto Darkwing. Though the Cassin now starting his teleport on the backside. Will have a great flank here as Cheetos gets stunned up. Pull him back in. Kitsune diving into the backside here. Tries to hold Kamek and Banana. He will get rooted up. The Olaf going very low. Will get taken down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day number 3 of Overclock Gaming's Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup Procast, brought to you by ICU Video. I'm Kevin the Noteman Kyle, alongside Tim Los Panderos Cooper, and we're into the playoffs, Tim.
Oh boy, we are, Kevin. Holy Hannah. We got some great games today. I'm really excited. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of great games yesterday as well. Very tight race to get those last 2 spots for the playoffs at the end of yesterday between Fake Friends and Kaiba Corp.
It came down to the perfect scenario, which is them facing off in a final game, winner advancing. Awesome game to watch, really fun. We've got it on our YouTube as well as on our Twitch replay if you guys do want to catch that game. It's second to last game of the day. We did a tri-cast with our friend Justin McGhost Autry, who joined us for that, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, still kind of awkward to say the nickname in the middle for
him. He made the choice.
Yeah, he really did. But we are into picks and bans here for the first game. We've got Negative Space against Fake Friends. Negative Space on the blue side, Fake Friends on the red side. Only 2 bans coming out of Fake Friends here.
Yeah, that may be an error, or this might be one of those situations where they've got a strong idea of what they are wanting to go for, and they don't want to open an extra ban. Hard to say. Also, these teams are familiar with each other, so it's possible if they did miss the first ban, or was that the third ban they missed? I'm not sure how the bans work. If it shouldn't be missing the third. Yeah, they missed the third ban is what it looks like.
I believe it was
because
the
it
third
would give you
ban,
an empty. Yeah, because they give you an empty slot. It doesn't push it down. So yeah, they did miss a third ban. If they did miss that, it is possible that they've communicated that to Negative Space. And there is actually a ban in place there. Since these teams are familiar with each other, they're able to communicate, and they're both honorable teams. So if a ban was intended and it was missed, certainly they would honor it. So we'll see how this goes. We got the Watery on Rumble. Oh boy, this is a classic pick, classic top lane OKG pick here, the Rumble.
Yeah, definitely one of those picks that you see throughout the meta in all the different years, pretty much. With that ultimate, the Equalizer just brings so much utility to a team fight with not only the slow that it provides, but just massive amounts of damage. Works really well in choke points like that Baron Pit and the Dragon Pit. So easily a character that can stay relevant in pretty much any meta.
And someone we've seen Watery play pretty much since Season 3, I think, was probably the first time I saw him play Rumble. I don't think he was a Rumble player in Season 2, but he's had many seasons of experience playing him. Rumble, one of those champions that really has never been touched since he came into the game. His damage numbers have been changed back and forth a little bit, but the core of his kit remains the same.
Yeah, we'll be going against that Fiora in the top lane, so that'll be an interesting matchup with both Rumble kind of having a little bit of a weaker laning phase. He pushes really hard, but not necessarily the biggest trader, I would say.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a hard one for Rumble, but there, especially as the lane goes longer. Fiora's mobility, it is possible that Rumble's going to be able to kite Fiora for most of the lane with his slowing. So Fiora is melee. She does have those dashes, but if she's not able to stick onto you, Rumble does get extra movement speed from his scrap shield, and he's also able to throw his electro harpoons that'll slow you down. So early on, when Fiora's farming in the wave, Rumble's going to be harassing her pretty effectively. And then as the lane moves on, it is possible that Rumble might be able to keep that advantage. But once Fiora gets the ability to gap close and a little bit of damage, that Tiamat, it's going to be a scary time, I think, for Rumble.
Yeah, Fiora, the premier duelist of the top lane, like that is definitely one of those champions that you see a lot of top level players express a lot of skill on, because of the ways you can maneuver around a team fight with those little mini dashes.
Yeah, and the damage output's really, really high if you do manage to get all those vital points popped. So you really have to be good at knowing how to maneuver your champion in a wave to get at their vitality procs, or when you're dashing to them, which way should I be dashing, because I'm going to be able to get this one, but I'm not going to be able to get that one as they're running away. So obviously, there's a lot of thinking that needs to go into that, but. Celestiri on that Fiora in the top lane, obviously familiar with him. We have seen him play it earlier in the series. So we'll see how he fares against this Rumble.
Yeah, and just to move away from the top lane for a minute, I want to look at one of the bans that Fake Friends brought out. A Target Sona mid lane ban.
Yeah, that is
weird to
that
think
is
about.
Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting grab. Sona, not one of the champions that you see banned almost ever in the first place. Nonetheless, against a Sona that played in the mid lane when we saw him last time on Cupid. But Cupid being very mobile with that Sona, making a lot of his presence known across the map, very mobile, moving around a lot, able to get in and out of situations that you wouldn't normally find yourself getting in and out of. And Cupid... Yeah, with massive heals and team fights, a lot of really good stuns as well too. So removing that huge crowd control, just directed crowd control, especially if they don't know how to play against it.
Yeah, and looking at it, it's also a good ban based on the team composition that was already being built up with the Nami and the Rumble having that kind of area line that you can knock people up with the tidal wave, put the equalizer down, and then if Sona comes in with a crescendo across everybody, you're stuck in that equalizer and just burning to a crisp.
Yeah, they could have been setting up for a lot of pain there. And then you also have Graves, who is a high AoE damage jungler in relation to other junglers. And you have Ezreal ult as well, too, on their team. So if they had that Sona there, they could have the perfect we win a team fight in 2 seconds team comp. So good ban. Yeah, definitely a good ban. And not just a random ban either. It is a weird pick that we saw earlier in the tournament as well.
Yeah, and a pick that we haven't seen a lot in this tournament is the Wukong going to be coming out for specialty here.
Yeah, Wukong is great. Ever since they did that rework on him and they gave him a little bit more maneuverability with his clone, where his clone mimics some of your abilities instead of just standing there like a funny monkey dancing and shifting his shoulders back and forth. Now he's actually really fun to play, and getting that second ultimate charge off as well too. I'm pretty sure they removed a little bit of a damage on his ultimate in order to enable him to ult twice. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't look at the numbers, but still,
I would
really,
have to imagine. I'd have to imagine that they did, because that would be pretty ridiculous damage just like with his flat ultimate. Because before the rework, that ulti was one of the things that hit really hard in his kit.
Yeah, absolutely. The ultimate did so much damage, so it doesn't seem to hit as hard as it used to. But you get 2 of them, and your clone does it. So as a jungler, he's in a very good space right now as well too. The clone can tank some of the minion damage in the jungle if you're not healthy. If you want to save mana, he's a fast jungler from the movement speed from his Nimbus Strike. So he's a fun pick, and he's also a very flexible pick too. If you see him early in a draft, you can put him top lane, you can put him in the jungle. But they did draft Fiora and the Wukong around the same time, so obviously they had an idea for what they were really wanting to do here.
Yeah, and looking at the mid lane Sona was banned out, but more of a supportive mid laner again coming out now for Cupid with the Morgana pick. And we actually have a fair bit of a throwback lane here with the Morgana versus Kassadin.
Yeah, that's a classic right there. The old mage versus the anti-mage in the mid lane. Kassadin being very mobile, and Morgana bringing a lot of far-away engage to team fights. I imagine this is going to be a hard matchup, actually, for the Morgana as it plays forward. With Kassadin being able to close the gap. And then also, it's not too hard for Kassadin to drop Soul Shackles as well, too, when Morgana uses her ult on Kassadin. Kassadin has a pretty easy time slowing Morgana and then rifting away so that he can just completely negate the damage. Plus his magic shield that he gets from his force pulse, or not force pulse, the orb that he throws out.
The orb,
yeah, it's
force pulse
the
is
orb
slow, so
yeah. So going to be an interesting lane. And then in support, though, we got Blitzcrank.
Yeah, definitely one of those fun champions you don't see a lot in the competitive scene. You see him pulled out every now and then by specific players who are known to do the Blitzcrank on the Rift. Do the Blitzcrank.
Yeah, do the Blitz.
You know.
Yeah, he's a fun champion. We don't see him that much, so and this is a very high elo game in general. So it'll be good to see that high elo Blitzcrank play and Blitzcrank into the Nami as well too. So definitely some kill potential there in that bottom lane for Canadian and Celesteria.
Yeah.
Not and necessarily we did see a
much
swap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Celesteria had been playing top lane for Fake Friends, but Celesteria is now on the AD role. His original position, that's really what he became known for in the league scene, being one of the more dominant ADs in the scene. So back on that AD role, playing the high noon Lucian with Sine Canadian in that bottom lane.
Yeah, and we are getting into game here, and as we get onto the Rift, and hopefully the camera decides to move at some point here, I do want to bring up the fact that, there we go. The computer finally woke up here and decided it wanted to watch what was going on. But as we load onto the Rift, I do want to mention how we are doing this for charity. We're doing the Quarantine Charity Cup. So not only are we doing it for charity, we're staying with the social distancing quarantine stuff by having this all online. I'm recording from my own apartment downtown. You're over on the south side of Edmonton in some place and time we determined over the last couple days.
I exist, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, and we've got our director and switcher, Rob Zitlau, and Alex Testowich up in the north side of Edmonton as well. So, like, we're all spread across Edmonton with all the players from this area, but all at home doing off their own computers. So, usually we're in overclock for these kind of tournaments, but not so much this time around.
No, yeah, unfortunately not able to run the physical tournaments as we once were right now. Sometime in the future, of course, we'll be bringing them back, and we'll be back with a new format as well, too, which we haven't announced yet, but we will be talking about in the future. But until then, it's a great substitute. It's so nice to see all the players again, getting them on the Rift, doing it for a good cause as well, too. A lot of these players also donated some of their time in some of our charity show matches that we had the few weeks coming up to this event. So if you do want to catch those, they are on our YouTube, all the highlights. A lot of really, really feisty plays coming out from people, not afraid to lose. Everyone fighting really hard. If you want to see some high kill, high elo gameplay, that's definitely the spot to check it out.
Yeah, no, they were really fun matches. They taking it more as show matches, a little less seriously than these tournament matches necessarily. So they brought out some pocket picks, some real crowd pleasers of picks to perform on, and pretty much every game we pretty much got close to a kill a minute at least in the games.
Yeah, they were high action from start to finish, that's for sure.
Yeah. But back into the playoffs of this tournament now. We've got a fairly slow start, no invades or anything to worry about in game number one here. Both teams kind of just taking it slow, feeling each other out, and just trying to get their farm on early on.
Yeah, a really, really slow start, actually, Kevin. If you notice here, both junglers do have both their buffs, and we have not seen either jungler looking for a gank. So that's That's definitely on the rare side. Well, Graves is finishing his second buff now, but normally what you will see is you'll see both junglers, or at least one of the two junglers, go for a double buff rush and then get into a lane as fast as possible, but neither jungler choosing to go for that really early gank this game.
Yeah, no, both electing to farm it out here, and we'll have to see exactly how long that keeps up, because knowing these teams, it's only a matter of time until they start exploding into battles.
Yeah, once they think they can take a fight, they'll take it, and they won't stop for a second. So we're going to be waiting probably for sixes from the top and mid lane, and then we're going to be seeing a lot pop off. Also in the jungle, Wukong is a good early ganker, but he's an exceptional ganker once he hits level 6. Much like a Mumu, gankers like that, where once they do have that big AoE crowd control ability, it really changes their kit. So he might be playing really I'm going to rush to level 6, try and get there as fast as possible game. We do see Graves in the top side. It looks like he's going to be looking for a gank here.
Yeah, going to get that slow down onto Kitsune here. The flash forward isn't going to be enough. The riposte will reflect some damage, but not enough. Watery helps burn down Kitsune, and Kitten will pick up the first blood on that Graves that we've seen him perform on so well throughout the tournament.
And great timing there from the Graves. If you notice all the things, he was sitting in Tribush for a little bit before he came in. He didn't just run into the lane, and partly that's because he allowed Watery to farm a little bit more of his wave, get those minions down, make it look like a normal wave so that Watery's not just running right towards him, and he's not going to forego a bunch of CS for the gank as well, too. He comes in from the backside, and you can notice he also sidestepped the minions, pulling them to the side so that Graves' auto-attack damage wasn't going to be mitigated from the minions. So exceptional gank there coming in from Kitten on that Graves. Really just a perfect around 5-minute gank. No idea for Kitsune. He had no defense once he was in there. Yeah. Burn the flash, and they get the kill.
Yeah, so really just an ideal gank, being able to both burn the summoner spell and finish off the kill. A lot of times you'll either get one or the other, because if players, especially at this high elo, know that they're dead to rights, they'll save that flash. And getting a little low in this jungle here. Specialty gonna flash forward and just clean up that kill. Getting just a little too deep in his jungle.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate for Kitten there. Kitten only level 4, I think, right now. Or maybe level 5. But Graves, one of the worst junglers actually at taking those Raptors. That Raptor camp is very hard for him to take. His damage gets dispersed with his buckshot. He doesn't really able to focus on exactly which Raptor he wants to kill. Once he gets some levels in his buckshot so that he can just hit his Q out and clear most of the camp, it's not that hard to take it. But until that point in the early game, Raptors do a lot of damage to Graves and put him in a very vulnerable position, and Specialty was absolutely in the right position to collapse. Boom, picks up the kill, absolutely free. So unfortunate misstep there for Kitten.
Yeah, the one weakness of Jungle Graves clearing camps would be those Raptors, because every other camp you can basically do with no health lost.
Yeah, Graves very effective at kiting these camps. He pushes them back, so he takes damage from Gromp generally, takes damage from Wolves generally, and he's going to take damage from the Raptors as well too. But you can mitigate almost all the damage from every other camp that you're fighting against.
Which would be Krugs and the two buffs, but the buffs being the highest damage camps, I would say.
Yeah, Krug's the buff, and they're for sure the highest damage camps. And with Gromp as well too, you do it very fast. It's against a wall, you get your quick double damage off your Q, a bunch of auto attacks, attack speed resets. Doesn't take you too long to kill them since you've got all your buckshot forced into one target. It's really the Raptors that do the most damage to you. There's so many little targets, and it takes you forever to kill them. Oh, and Kitten might be in trouble again.
Yeah, invading the jungle here. The ultimate comes out from Specialty. He's going to have to run away because he's very low. The ultimate comes out from Graves. Not going to be enough as the rest of the team from negative space here collapse. But Specialty staying alive there, but loses a red buff.
Yeah, loses the red buff. Kitten able to force that base. He's going to pick up the Raptors from Wukong here as a little cigarette in the arm. You killed me at mine, I'm taking yours.
Yeah, takes away his buff and his raptors, so nice way to kind of come back for Kitten here after getting killed in his own jungle. Definitely tries to even up the score there a little bit.
Yeah, there's two terrible feelings as a jungler. It's being low in your jungle and getting caught by Karthus ult or some other random thing, or dying to a camp. So unfortunately for Kitten, he had got to experience a version of that ultimate Karthus sadness, where Wukong walks by and finds him. But he's going to make up for it as the game goes. Did get that first blood, so team still holding on there. Watery dueling this Kitsune. You can see it's kind of falling in Watery's favor at this point.
Yeah, so far, Watery doing a good job of timing his overheats with pushing up with the wave here, just to get that extra damage harass onto Kitsune. And really forcing him out of the minion waves. And now Canadian looking for a gank here. The nice flash over the wall. Celesteria now caught up under the tower. Doesn't manage to get a kill here. The Ezreal ulti will come across, and K for Kimchi will take Celesteria down, followed by Specialty. That's a double kill for him. Now Watery finishing off Canadian on the backside. The teleport down helps turn a gank into a 3-for-0 for the side of negative space, and they are rolling right now.
Busty looking
Meanwhile,
to collapse onto Cupic.
Yeah, had enough for one spell shield, so yeah.
Yeah,
that's one of the hard things. Yeah, one of the hard things going against Morgana is that Black Shield is just so easy to let you walk away from pretty much any kind of gank or engage.
Yeah, and we did see there in that bot lane as well too. We saw that Kitsune was not able to follow up with his TP. So that's actually, wow, the Black Shield twice in a row being the huge save.
Yeah, but it's not quite enough. The flash forward by Specialty will get the kill here. The Rift Walk forward by Bussy Senpai. He does take too much tower damage. He finishes off Cupic, but at the cost of his own life. So a 2-for-1, but and a few tower plays going the way of Fake Friends here. So a little bit of a turnaround here.
Yeah, big turnaround for Fake Friends there. That was a necessary pickup, and almost saved there from Cupic with the Black Shield. Unfortunately, they do manage to find the Graves and start off that fight. Cupic trying to support, puts him into a dangerous position, and he goes down as well too. They do pick up the Kassadin, and tower's not quite low enough at this point for them to be able to get a tower off that play.
No, but you won't complain about getting a couple plates worth of gold as well, so especially for that Kassadin, it's going to be very hard for him to be able to push in and really do anything to those tower plates against this Morgana.
Yeah, that's certainly true. We do see Graves here is on the Rift Herald, while mid lane and top lane are both being pushed pretty hard. Specialty on the bottom side of the map may go for the dragon here as a swap. No, just warding, so it looks like Busty will be able to pick up this Rift Herald, but Watery's dragging him down towards him.
Now Watery getting ulted on by Fiora, so Kitsune now playing very aggressive now with that level 9, so having one of his skills completely finished off. So a lot of extra damage there. Not quite at that level 11 bonus pops for the ultimate, but still a very strong power spike right now with level 9.
Yeah, and you can see Watery is clearly experienced with that Rumble, where he's going in, he's running away, and then he's turning around, hitting the slow, letting the Flame Spitter do some damage again, starting to run away, turning around, hitting the slow, letting the Flame Spitter do damage. And a lot of Rumble is really just managing how you're facing. If you've never used the S button when you're playing in League of Legends, if you're a Rumble player, you're going to start. Because you have to really control the area that your character is facing. Oh, and a big dive coming in your bot lane.
Yeah, and Kimchi will get chased down here. Specialty going to help pick up that kill. Zinni as well. The 4-man tower dive bot lane leaves negative space's bot lane with nowhere to go, as Kitsune now trying to chase down Watery in the top lane. He will be able to flash away from that. The Rift Herald in the mid lane will pick up the first tower of the game for negative space. So a trade of your bot lane for the first tower.
First tower, maybe second tower mid, or at least a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage down there. Should be the bot lane tower going down as well, but
and tower plate's still alive here, so that's why it is taking them so long to take this tower. They did take...
Yeah, they did manage to take it. But as you were saying, yeah, as the tower plates go down, the more you take down, the more armor that tower has. So it's harder to clean up those like 3 or 4 plate towers unless you have that Rift Herald.
Yeah, Rift Herald really is the best at busting towers, and it is possible that we might see a disconnect from me at some point in this call. I just got an internet lag spike, so one of the detriments of not being at the wonderful place that is Overclock Gaming with its beautiful fiber internet. Plug. But I'm back in now, so only lost me for about 20 seconds there.
Okay, well, you didn't miss too much. Both the teams backing out there, so we just had the tower trade, and really both the teams just kind of regrouping after that. And looks like the engaged into the mid lane specialty just popping that ulti at every opportunity here. I think he's basically used that on cooldown since he's gotten it.
Yeah, well, that's great. And the more often you can use your ultimate as Wukong, the better. And you see that he has some cooldown reduction in his kit as well. Kitsune just too far forward here.
Yeah, tries to back out to the river, but Kitten was ready and waiting for the Fiora to come that way. Might have just wanted to back off the tower, but no choice there. Does go down. Now, Celesteria trying to duel Watery in the top lane. Specialty is here as well. The dash forward will be enough to help pick up that kill. The Ezreal ulti not really going to do a whole lot to help the situation, but as we said earlier, it was only a matter of time till we started having this action pop off across the map.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Watery, Celesteria did have a completed item when he did not there at that fight, so Celesteria going to be able to put out a lot more damage, having farmed a lot more in that bot lane as well too. The top lane being a little bit more aggressive. They're both fairly close in farm. But not nearly as much gold on Watery as there is on
and now Cupid in a lot of trouble in his top lane. Flash over the wall. He'll get away for a second. Not long enough. Flash by Celesteria. Specialty did get bound up, but it doesn't help him survive that. And just more kills being picked up. Celesteria is 2-1 and 5 now on this Wukong. K for Kimchi. That is what the Ezreal pick can do for you against the Blitzcrank. Even if you're pulled, you can still Arcane Shift away.
Yeah, you can save a little bit of your mental capacity as well for the Blitzcrank, because the Arcane Shift is actually not that hard to land. Once you've played a couple games on Ezreal, well, a couple games against Blitzcrank on Ezreal, it's fairly easy. After Blitz hits you, then you activate your skill. So that's a fairly easy response as an AD. So instead of wasting his mental capacity on making sure he doesn't get hooked by Blitz, he can focus a little bit more on his Qs and then react when Blitz does go for the hook.
Yeah, a little bit easier timing than necessarily, say, the Tristana, which we saw in one of the show matches, with the rocket jump having that invulnerability, but only if you've prepped the ability, because it has such a long startup time.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you need to really understand how your champion buffers their abilities in relation to the game itself. And that you can figure out, just through 100, 200 games or so.
Now Specialty chasing down Cubic here. The Soul Shackle's out. Dark Binding on to Specialty. He's going to pick that one up solo. The Ezreal ulti not able to seal that one away. And the Dragon is started up and just going on to Watery here.
Yeah, the Ezreal
going to...
not necessary.
Oh my god, so much damage coming out. The ulti is coming across Canadian now. The Gargoyle Stoneplate not going to be enough. Watery will burn him down. That Equalizer doing so much damage along with the Graves ultimate. Just a huge AoE effect there.
Yeah, and it was looking like Fake Friends might have had that fight, or might have had this game as they were pushing forward, taking a lot of advantages in a lot of lanes with just a couple missteps. But as soon as they get into team fight form, Negative Space has such a strong team fight, with the Morgana really disabling where the teams can move, forcing them into one area where, like, if she catches somebody, the team has to collapse because Rumble will kill them. Nami will follow up for a stun, so she can really start a fight and force where the teams are going to fight, and then that gives Rumble the ability to position his ult as effectively as possible. And that was a great ult from Watery on the side there, slowing him down, getting that burn, not hitting everyone, but hitting enough people and the important people.
Yeah, no, it forced the rest of the team to back off from, I believe that was, who was that? Busty Senpai that got caught out by the Dark Binding?
May have been. My memory is hazy.
Yeah. Like a goldfish is mine, so. But either way, like, just very well placed, caught on to 2 or 3 members and forced them away from the initial engage as well. So it's definitely one of those abilities that just changes the face of a team fight so quickly.
Yeah.
And actually, something of note.
Oh, you go ahead.
Sorry. Something to note with that dragon picked up, that was the first of the Cloud Drakes for the Cloud Soul, which is really a fairly strong option for both these teams. The extra move speed on the ultimate will help out Morgana, Wukong, not necessarily so much Kassadin. Lucian is great with it because it just speeds up his ability to chase you down with the culling. Like, it is
stop you and then it'll run around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Run around you in circles. Yeah.
For a lot of the key ultimates, though, this game, it is a very strong ability to have that extra move speed and that extra mobility after dropping the ultimate.
Yeah, especially on Wukong. Absolutely, especially on Wukong. This game, Rumble being able to have that extra movement speed to position his Flame Spitter is always good as well too. But Rumble, with Wukong being able to hit a couple more targets with his ultimate, holy! And he gets to cast it twice too.
Or on the other side, the Morgana being able to more easily chase down and keep people inside of the Soul Shackles as Celesteria gets caught out here. The Ezreal ulti coming across. So much damage from the culling, though. And Cupid almost goes down from that, but Celesteria is the one to drop, and the mid tower finally going to go down after we saw that Rift Herald push probably 8 or 9 minutes ago that dropped that tower real low.
Yeah, and Canadian just underestimating the Morgana's move speed there, doesn't quite manage to land the return hook to pick up the kill on Morgana. Unfortunate for Canadian, hasn't been able to make much happen yet on this Blitzcrank for his team, and it's going to get harder as the game gets on too, because once you start pulling some champions, they're going to start engaging on you.
Yeah, no, there's definitely certain targets that you don't really want to pull in. A Rumble, for example, you're just bringing his Flame Spitter closer to you.
And Rumble does have a broken stopwatch right now, not a broken stopwatch, so he will be able to go golden in one of these next team fights, which is absolutely massive. Rumble, priority champion for you to kill in team fights. Going to bait a lot of damage towards him, and then the ability to go golden halfway through and drop the aggro can really, really turn a fight. So look for that in one of these next team fights coming up.
And now Kitten going to dash forward, looking for specialty here. Not going to find him. The Wukong just going to walk away from that one. And Busty Senpai and Cupid just trading a little bit back and forth here. Cupid mostly focusing on clearing these waves down in the bot lane.
Yeah, Cupid probably the best target for it, but he's going to get ganked here from this Kassadin once the mini wave goes down.
Yeah. And Watchery in the top lane going to fight with Kitsune, going down to half health. Not going to be enough. The Rift Herald is summoned on the Rift somewhere? It was summoned in the mid lane. Didn't see exactly where he placed that.
It's a coming.
And now Specialty going to be caught out here. The binding is going to miss, but he is going to be continuously slowed up by the Scrapes. The Soul Shackles comes out. It gets dropped immediately as Cupid will pick up that one on the backside. Nowhere to go for Specialty there. Unfortunately for
for Specialty, he got his face wrecked in that fight.
Yeah. Kitsune just continuing to trade really well, watching that overheat timing and diving in at the right moments here.
And another big, important Dragon pickup for Negative Space. So they turned the 2-Dragon lead into a tie now. Absolutely massive. So that's going to remove Fake Friend's 4-Dragon win condition. Now both teams equally able to get it. And Negative Space is going to be the stronger fighting team at Dragons for a while here, too. Maybe for the rest of the game.
And also, importantly, the Windrakes giving that cooldown bonus on the ultimates. We were talking about the game-changing ultimates that these teams have. Having them off cooldown more often is a very good thing.
Yeah, that's really going to be massive for especially Rumble. Especially him. That's just absolutely game-changing ultimate. Nami as well, too, having more tidal waves. You don't see that many tidal waves in a game because it has such a long cooldown, so that makes it even more effective. And nice moves by the Cassian there, dropping the Soul Shackles. As soon as he drops the Soul Shackles, Morgana knows that he's going to catch her, so she has to flash.
Yeah, no, a very good play by Busty Senpai there. Especially using that Fog of War to get that burst. It's so hard for Cassidy to get that burst on Morgana when she knows it's coming. But now Kitsune going to duel it out with Kitten. Kitten going very low, but the Repose will keep her alive. Now Specialty trying to get away from Kitten. The second ulti coming out. Is it going to be enough? The flash forward by Kitten will eventually take him down with the help of Watery. And now Canadian on the backside getting caught out here. Has to flash over towards that tower. The hook barely missing Cine. And a lot of action going on around this Baron pit. And it looks like Negative Space might be starting up the Baron now.
Yeah, a game of inches. That was literally millimeters away from connecting with Cine right there. That would have been a great pickup for them to just grab for free. She would have died under that tower. Almost guaranteed. So, but Canadian, is he going for a hero hook here? He is by himself.
Good. He hits the hook on to take away the smite, but there is no smite available for Fake Friends here. Kin now just going to duel it out with Celestiri and Kitsune. Celestiri dropping very low, will go down. Cindy picking up that one. Now Busty Senpai coming in, will not find too much. Kitsune almost taking down Cindy, but the heal coming out from Kimchi will keep him alive. Now being chased down, the jump over the wall by Busty Senpai. He is very tanky, so he can take a few shots here. And now Specialty on the backside going to clean up Cine as the chase continues. Kitsune goes down as well. But now Specialty versus Kitten. This match has gone to Kitten so far, and it continues to as K for Kimchi comes in and helps clean up that kill.
And yeah, unfortunate for Fake Friends there. That was a close fight in most regards. They were pretty outmatched there when they were fighting them at the Baron pit, but they managed to kite for such a long time. Specialty comes in on the backside, picks up one clean kill, and then tries to maintain the damage onto their back line, onto Kitten. Gets the flash hit, but not quite enough damage. Kitten lives with maybe 80 or 100 health there. One or two auto attacks away from dying. And after that, his team's there to back him up, and unfortunate for Specialty, he's going to go down as well too. And this is going to be really tough here for Fake Friends to get back in this game. We're seeing another Dragon in about a minute and a half or so, and that's going to be the third Dragon, and then we're going to have fourth Dragon up on the map. A lot of summoners burned in that fight as well too. So.
Yeah, and with that inhibitor tower down in the mid lane, all it takes really at this point is one really clean fight, and it could be game over. Swift push up the mid lane could be all it takes.
And Morgana with the Spooky Ghosts as one of her abilities. She's got two slowing abilities. She's got Spooky Ghosts, and she's got the Icicles that she shoots in front of her. So Morgana having a lot of ability to control the team fights as they start. But think about those things, the Spooky Ghosts and the Icicles with Rumble Ult. So she's bringing in extra slow and extra control over these team fights. And then you layer Rumble Ult on top of that, and all of a sudden it goes from a couple seconds of slow to you being slowed for the entire duration of the team fight. And it's really, really hard to position someone like Lucian for his ultimate when you're massively slowed and the entire enemy team is running after you.
Yeah, with that Glacial Augment, we'll see it right here as Specialty gets caught out, makes the binding so easy to land. Specialty will go down as the collateral damage comes out from Kitten. Two ultis burned across the board for killing him off, but I think they'll take that, especially with the two Cloud Drakes, bringing those back up as Canadian now getting ganking onto Watery. Goes golden. The Flame Spitter not going to be enough. Kitsune dropping very low, but will not fall. Canadian as well, so a very close call for Watery, but he survives the gank in the top lane.
Yeah, Watery doing a great job there, managing to survive that gank. That timing on the stopwatch really just opens up a lot of Rumble CDs. He just needs a couple seconds for those CDs to come back up. So the few seconds from the stopwatch really do make a difference for him. And nice clean kill there from Cupic. Over the wall with the slow. Ooh, and another connection.
Whoa. Catches the binding onto Lucian, going to walk through the culling. It doesn't matter for him. He's going to live with 50 HP. That's more than enough. As long as it's not 0, you're fine. And K for Kimchi just pushing alone in the bottom lane, just having his way with Specialty now. So much damage coming out of that Ezreal. He's kind of gone quiet throughout this game, but he's sitting 4-1-7, 249 CS. He has his Iceborne Gauntlet. He has the Miramana finished off, and now a Death's Dance to help him duel out with some of these burst assassins like the Wukong, like the Kassadin.
Yeah, with the Death Stance and the Iceborne Gauntlet, Ezreal is a huge amount of CDR, a huge amount of slow, and he's insanely tanky as well too. So this is an unusual Ezreal build. I don't normally see Death Stance as a third item, but I love it. It's fantastic. It gives him that CDR, which makes him even more oppressive with his Iceborne Gauntlet. Ooh, and Canadian just missing there, unfortunately.
Yeah, the ulti from Ezreal coming out, going to catch across a few members and just continuing to arcane shift forward. He does not have any fear with those items. Now Specialty caught out in the mid lane, will go down. Cupic dominating now, 7-2-8 on the day. And Negative Space is rolling, going to continue this push into the base of Fake Friends, take down this inhibitor, and quite possibly the bottom side as well.
Yeah, they should be able to bust both inhibitors right here, and that's going to put them in a very strong position. They might even choose to try and push for a base tower at this point. Specialty is the engage. Without Specialty available, it's going to be very hard for Fake Friends to pull the trigger on a fight here, even under double towers.
And now Buzzy Senpai Celesteria gets rooted up. Watery going to finish him off. And the double kill coming out for Watery. K for Kimchi chasing Buzzy Senpai on the backside. Will continue his damage into the fountain, but it's not going to be enough. But it will be enough to end the game here. Buzzy Senpai and especially the only ones left alive to defend. And I don't think they have what it takes to defend this. K for Kimchi going to go very low here. Will get shut down, actually. Now Kitten, the last 80 carry left here with the two supports of Cupic and Cine. Going to duel it out with Specialty. The clone going to distract him for just a second. Busty Senpai jumping in, does get the execute down onto Kitten, but it will not be enough as just enough damage comes out. Cupic and Cine finishing off the Nexus. A very close race at the end. I didn't know what was going to happen, whether they were going to back off or finish it off. And they just managed to get the last hits on the Nexus with those super minions coming in for the assist. And
wow, what a base defense there from Fake Friends. Coming so close, Specialty not having his ultimate for the majority of that base defense either, which really didn't allow them to get the kill off. So you see Kitten here just sidestepping the minions, making sure that he's going to get a maximum amount of damage from his auto attack for that first blood in the top lane. Strong start, and that really started the snowball up there in the top lane. Watery dying a couple times in the game, but never getting pushed really far behind in lane, never in that dangerous position where Rumble is not doing enough damage and consistently feeding. Unfortunate for Canadian there, that was a blind hook, didn't see which angle there was a flash for. Tries to go for the hook, doesn't find them. They flashed closer to the minion wave, closer to tower, and a big pickup, double kill in the bot lane, both for K for Kimchi, and boom, following it up with a third kill for Watery with the TP. And I don't think we managed to touch on it when we were in the play, but that play there in the bot lane, that TP, was also enabled by the gank top lane, because the gank top lane burns flash, and then Kitsune TPs back to lane, enabling Watery to still have his TP and be able to follow with a TP to bot lane, knowing that he's not getting any pressure from the top. So massive, that one play in the top lane really set up that extra kill in the bot lane as well too.
Yeah, definitely advantages across the board you saw getting going from negative space early on. Fake Friends did have a lot of good plays to kind of get back into it. You saw it here, Specialty coming in, Canadian catching Kitten, stealing away that blue buff and chasing him down long enough that Specialty was able to get in and get a return kill. And down there on the 4-man bot lane, you saw strong showing with the 4-man gank, a really good idea, but unfortunately you had Kitten in the mid lane pushing with the Rift Herald available, so he's able to take down the first tower despite that 4-man gank in the bot lane.
Yeah, Kitten doing a great job that game, being all over the map. Really good Graves play. Graves is, I actually confused Kitten for Busty Senpai at one point in the game as well too, because Busty Senpai also a very excellent Graves player. But yeah, Kitten putting on a very strong performance into that mid-game, into the late game as well too, really making a lot of the plays around the map that enabled them to get that lead into that victory.
Yeah, definitely a very strong showing by a lot of negative space, just moving around the map so cleanly to take advantages where they can. Kitten throughout the tournament and the show matches has just been on top of his jungle pathing, being in the right places at the right time pretty much all the time, and on this Graves pick for him has been very good.
Yeah, Kitten really doing well on Graves. We'll see if he gets it for another game. At this point, Graves is one of the champions that people do like to ban. Very aggressive jungler. Yeah, we'll see. Kitten did have the one misplay where he did get caught in the jungle as well too. So if that hadn't happened, it's possible that negative space's snowball might have been even bigger. So yeah, it is possible that we do see a Graves ban coming out in this next game, or maybe a Rumble ban as well too. Ban Cupic as well. What can you ban? He can't play Zoe. You can't let him play Zoe. You can't let him play Sona, apparently. You don't really want him playing Morgana. Put him on Orianna, I guess. His Orianna is good, but
it might be the best of the worst world.
Yeah. Sometimes there's too many champions that you want to get rid of.
Yeah, and kind of not the strongest champions either, like that you would normally think of for banning out. Like, I don't think anybody would think of a target Sona mid ban coming into
Yeah, targeting. Oh, no, absolutely not. But it was very effective when he did play it, and Cupic has a really good sense of where he should be on the map, where he needs to be moving to, and he's very quick to support his team. So giving him a mid laner that is even quicker at getting there, who can do that supportive role, because Morgana's kind of a supportive. She's there, she's backing you up. She is making plays, but she's also there, she's backing you up, she's helping you move around and stuff like that.
Yeah, has the Black Shield to keep allies safe, yeah.
Yeah, a couple big saves from the Black Shield, a couple close calls as well too. So Cupic playing those supportive mid laners. Zoe also with the crowd control as well too. So, but Zoe more of a obviously carry.
Yeah, the burst assassin. So we'll have to see what the adaptations are. This is a best of 3 series, so negative space does have the chance to move on to the finals with this next game. So we'll have to see what Fake Friends do to try and adapt and slow down this snowball that has been negative space through this tournament. We'll take a short break here, but first, if you look just down below on your Twitch screen, you will see a donation button to the Edmonton Food Bank, because this is the Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup, and the big word in there is charity. So if you have the ability to, it would be great for you to give to the Edmonton Food Bank. That's who we are supporting here today. Help people out in what are tough times right now, as people are just getting back onto their feet in these last couple weeks here. So.
And if you do donate, we want to give you a little thank you. So you're going to be entered into a raffle to win these things. We have RP cards available for whoever may so desire. So we've already done the draw from the first day for the raffle. We'll be doing the draw for the second day after this series is done. So stay tuned for the whole series, and then we'll let you know. And then we will, at the end of the day today, be doing the draw for the third groupings of a $25 and $10 RP card. So if you want to be eligible for that, you can either donate or share the stream.
Yeah, so if you can go onto your social media, if you can't give, you can always share the stream. Let other people know about what we're doing here today. It will help us out getting the word out. So we'll be back on the Rift very shortly with game number 2 of our semifinals series here. Negative Space and Fake Friends. Negative Space 1 game away from moving on to the finals. We'll see what happens coming up very shortly. Morgana being able to more easily chase down and keep people inside of the soul shackles as Celestia gets caught out here. The Ezreal ulti coming across. So much damage from the Culling though, and Cupid almost goes down from that, but Celestia is the one to drop, and the mid tower finally going to go down after we saw that Rift Herald push probably 8 or 9 minutes ago where you placed that.
It's a coming.
And now Specialty going to be caught out here. The binding is going to miss, but he is going to be continuously slowed up by his Scrapes. The Soul Shackles comes out. It gets dropped immediately as Cupid will pick up that one on the backside.
Right.
Yeah. Kitsune just continuing to trade really well. Watching that overheat timing and diving in at the right moments here.
And another big, important dragon pickup for Negative Space. So they turn the 2-dragon lead.
And it looks like Negative Space might be starting up the bear now.
Yeah, a game of inches. That was literally millimeters away from connecting with Cine right there. That would have been a great pickup for them to just grab for free. She would have died under that tower. Almost guaranteed. So, but Canadian, is he going for a hero hook here? He is by himself.
Good. He hits the hook up and takes away the smite, but there is no smite available for Fake Friends here. Kin now just going to duel it out with Celestia and Kitsune. Celestia dropping very low, will go down. Sydney picking up that one. Now Dusty Senpai coming in, will not find too much. Kitsune almost taking down Sydney, but the heal coming out from Kimchi will keep.
The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast. The Edmonton Quarantine Charity Cup is proudly sponsored by ICU Video Productions. We don't webcast, we procast.